All right, time for our Slay or Nay segment.
It's either the sleigh.
Or the Nay.
What do we have first, Kyle?
We got Leyline of the Guild Pack. I originally started looking at this card. It just seemed like it's a lot. You're only putting it in Wooburg, but apparently in Modern, it's meta as heck. Being able to turn all of your creatures into all colors. It's a Leyline as well, so it starts out in your hand. You're playing it for free. But the lands you control are every basic land type in addition to its other types as well. So you got Bloom Tender. What do you think?
It can be really good. The reason why I could definitely see this being huge in Modern, right? Because starting it out, you're going to be able to put 4 cards in that deck, and then with that, you're going to be color fixing right then and there. In the Commander format, a bit risky. Nothing wrong with going with it if you have it, right? Because the only other couple cards that you can fix with lands is Chromatic Lantern, and then the other 2 mana enchantment. I forget the exact name, but those 2 cards, those are going to be the other ones that you pair with it. It's a mana fixer that can come out for free. If you're lucky and you get it, that's awesome. But if you end up drawing it in 99, it ends up kind of holding you back a little bit because it's 4 mana.
Like Tom Bombadil, Ramos, Dragon Engine, Dragon Dex, Tiamat, or Dragon, and then Zika, God of the Tree, maybe even go Shintai. That could be cool because then it would turn all of my shrine tokens, into mana fixers as well as mana dorks.
It can be a sleigh.
It's a sleigh. It's an absolute sleigh.
It can be a sleigh.
We've got a common for the first time in our Slay or Nay segment. It's going to be Slime Against Humanity. Tom, what do you think about this card?
I think there's some funny things you can do with it. At first, when I first saw it, I'm like, meh. I mean, I get how Rat Colony works, right? The other blue card for Bruvac, Milling.
The Petitionist.
Petitionist.
Yeah. Well.
But I think the cool thing that you can do about this is throw it in some type of gruel wheel deck, right? Where you have a lot of these and you're wheeling them out, throwing them in the graveyard. And then not only that, but when you get to play it, not only do you have all those Slime Against Humanities in your graveyard, if you throw a Mizzix Mastery also on top of it, now they also get exiled. I mean, you're going to be able to create big, beefy oozes at that point for 3 mana. I mean, it can be fun. When I play Magic, I prefer funny-looking decks that do funny things, and this is one of them.
One deck that I see this 1000% being in is going to be Umori the Collector. It's an ooze creature, legendary. It's Golgari, though. I do see the Gruul working out well with it, but it's an ooze for starters. And then whenever it enters the battlefield, you get to choose a card type. Spells you cast of the chosen type cost 1 less to cast.
So I guess you would choose sorcery in this case.
Yeah, I'm just making bigger and better boys.
2 mana, make big bad oozes, and make a ooze tribal. Ooze tribals here, guys.
Absolutely.
Slime Against Humanity.
Mm-hmm. Tom, what do we got next?
We have Voja. Jaws. I almost said Claws. Jaws of the Conclave. This is... I'm surprised this didn't hit our fire face, to be honest with you. This card is ridiculous, or let alone our commanders, to be honest. It's Naya, so, you expect ramp, you expect smashing things. You also expect to just have good cards in there in general, especially with White having some of the staple cards that are in it, like a Esper Sentinel. But I don't know. It's like, would you even throw an Esper Sentinel in this? At least you get to have Swords of Plowshares or Path to Exile for those exile effects removal. Elves, Wolves. I mean, there's multiple cards that are Elves and Wolves coming in together at the same time. And then the fact that you have green to ramp with Elves, you're going to be having big smashing Elves. You're going to have Wolves that also smash and draw you cards. I see no downside to this.
It's Naya colors. It's got a lot of the best qualities all put together into Naya in general.
Vigilance, Trample, and Ward 3. I don't know where the Ward 3 came from. Well, they didn't even need to put that on there.
Well, I think, there's so many meta cards out there that Wizards has even kind of... I feel like they've nudged at putting Ward more often.
To kill this creature, you need 3 extra mana. Your Path to Exile on this thing just costed 4 mana now. That's
also
what is this commander?
Well, that's also why it costs 5 to bring it in. You counter that once, twice. Now it's 9 mana to come in. I get you got ramp, but I see this being more dominantly an elf deck.
Run a Delighted Halfling. Run a Cavern of Souls.
There you go.
Can't get countered.
Boom. So then, I like
Shoot, yeah.
Cemetery Prowler in this because it now is reducing your mana cost because whenever you exile a creature, a card type, then spells you cast cost one less to cast them, one generic. So now you can start throwing out your big hitters and they cost that much. Or if you have any X Factor power ups like Termagant Swarm is X1 green, and then you tap X to put that many 1/1 counters on.
I think you get so much out of it. I think probably one of the bigger things though is throw a roaming throne in this. Aiming Wolf.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Shoot.
You got a Nara coming in here too.
There's a lot of cards that are in Selesnya that specifically make wolves that are elf creatures.
Mm.
And so have an elf come out, you're making a wolf. Now you're getting both effects going on.
No.
This is a fun commander.
Okay. So we're gonna say Slay.
It's a slay.